So let me sort of like break those down a little bit from the point of view of like a developer or a user, right? So the first one, the data, a smart contract. Let's take a really simple example of like a bet, right? Where you and me are betting on the future price of Bitcoin. And now Bitcoin doesn't trade on Ethereum. It just trades on the Bitcoin network. Now there's obviously wrapped Bitcoin, but let's pretend wrapped Bitcoin doesn't exist. And so let's say that our bet is actually just going to pay out in USDC. It's going to pay out in stable coins. Now to do that, what we need to know is the price of Bitcoin at some future date. And so we need to pull that in. Now your first class, you're saying that someone went, well, Binance trades Bitcoin against USDC, so we can just take a reliable source of data from Binance, and what we'll do is we'll report that source of data on Ledger. However, if the data source is wrong, then you end up with a problem. So let's take that first example. How does Supra Oracle solve that issue?
Yeah, great question. So that is actually going to the root of what we do. Is we try to remove single points of failure in every instance, in every possible scenario. So what we do is we let me kind of posit this and phrase this a little bit differently about what is the price of Bitcoin in the world. So philosophically, the price of Bitcoin in this venue, this country, this jurisdiction, etc., this exchange is different. So there isn't actually a singular price of what Bitcoin is right now because it's globally distributed and trading at different venues, at different, jurisdictions and such. So the best that we can do as an industry, as far as I'm concerned, is we have to take into account, multiple exchanges and venues. Take a look at their volume of like trade and give them some sort of representation of like a weighted median calculation. For lack of better words, it's what we do is we have a rating system that's fully transparent. Say, okay, for example, you mentioned Binance. Okay, Binance is one of the largest exchanges, has some of the most volume, etc. And this is, out of a rating system of 7, we'll give it a, maybe a 7. I have to take a look at the chart, and it differs on the pair based off of the liquidity and volume. So we have this as a framework. Then what we do is we dispatch multiple nodes to connect directly to the exchange WebSockets. Those nodes are randomized, and those nodes have to run around a consensus at that data source itself. Now this is happening simultaneously across, let's just say 21 different pairs, 21 different data sources for the pairs we care about.
Same pair, but 21 different exchanges.
Exactly.
So we're saying, okay, so there's 21 exchanges that have enough volume for us to consider that to be, and we believe the volume, right?
Yes,
Another problem in crypto.
It's a very good point.
Exchange volume real.
Right. Exactly.
So you got 21 sources where we go, we believe, and this is Supra Oracle's own sort of like transparent rating system where you go, right, these are the sources we think are trustworthy enough, and collectively this is how we weight them together. So if I went to CoinMarketCap and rated and ranked by volume, those exchanges, the top 21 exchanges, are probably approximately what the sources are, and their Bitcoin USDC pair is what you're taking the data source of from their APIs, from their available APIs.
Right. So and I want to make this clear that we don't actually just use CoinMarketCap's information. It's one reference point, but it's very, we do a little bit deeper due diligence on that. But yeah, so imagine the case of Bitcoin, right? So we have, a framework. Let's just say we have integrated with 21 reputable exchanges that we've done our homework on. We've created a rating system with many parameters in order to give them some sort of rating. We dispatch random nodes, a set of them, run around a consensus at that data source, at each of them in parallel. And what we'll do is we'll actually discover the median value, the middle value at the data source itself of those nodes. We'll aggregate those median values in a singular block producer node who's in aggregating them at the time. That node is also randomized through election, etc. And then we'll choose a middle value of the middle values, so to speak. But it's a little bit different, more like the weighted part of it is that, like I mentioned, Binance. So Binance might have a score of 7. We'll increase its frequency at which that data is used in our calculation, like 7x, for example. But we'll grab like the middle 20%. We'll do an additional kind of weighted average, and then that's our final result. Now, we are proving that this is a very good methodology. We're actually in the middle of publishing this, but we'll create charts where we track all the exchanges we have, and we have what we call our S value, our Supra value, and it's going to be in the middle of everything. So it's a very good representation of what is the price of Bitcoin at any given time. Now, what's great about this is this can refresh every 3 to 5 seconds. So we have a very good snapshot that has taken into account multiple data sources and parameters.